The lasting change doesn't come from dramatic shifts or sudden revelations. It lies in the small, everyday habits we choose to adopt. Over time, these habits compound, creating massive transformation in our lives. Imagine your life as a garden. Each action, no matter how small, is like planting a seed. It takes care, patience, and consistency. Those seeds will blossom into something incredible. Let's talk about 10 small habits that can truly change your life forever. Start your day with intention. The first few minutes of your morning set the tone for everything that follows. Take a moment to reflect on your purpose, your goals, and your vision. Purposeful start leads to a productive and focused day. Read every day. Reading expands your knowledge and understanding. It challenges your thinking and opens your mind to new possibilities. Aim for at least 20 minutes each day. What you consume mentally shapes your reality. Exercise regularly. Activity is not just about fitness, it's about building resilience, energy, and discipline. Your body is the vessel that carries you through life. Prioritize your time. Time is the one resource that, once spent, can never be recovered. Be intentional with how you allocate your time. Things that align with practice gratitude. Gratitude shifts your mindset from scarcity to abundance. When you focus on what you have, rather than what you lack, more positivity into surround yourself with positive influences. The people you spend time with will shape your future. Choose to be around those who inspire, challenge. Learn to say no. Saying no is not about rejection, it's about protecting your time and energy. By saying no to distractions, you make space for the things that matter most. Embrace failure as growth. Failure is not something to be feared. It's an essential part of the learning process. Every setback is an opportunity to learn and improve. Remember, it's not about avoiding failure, but about getting back up and trying again. Reflect on your progress. Regular reflection helps you recognize what's working and what isn't. It allows you to course correct and stay aligned with your vision. Set time aside to review your journey. Give back. Serving others is one of the most fulfilling habits you can develop. It expands your perspective and reminds you of the bigger picture. Helping others ultimately enriches your own life in ways you can't anticipate. These habits aren't just actions, they are choices that reflect who you are and where you're going. Practice daily will build a foundation of success that will grow over time. It's not about perfection, but about consistency. Small changes, compounded over time, lead to extraordinary results. Start today. Your future self will thank you in a world that constantly pushes us to focus on the big wins, the flashy moments, the instant successes. We often overlook the power of small, consistent actions. The truth is, true transformation doesn't come from one grand gesture or a single pivotal moment. It comes from the daily choices we make. The small habits that we incorporate into our daily routines are the building blocks of the future we create for ourselves. Think of your life like a garden. Each day you plant a seed, and over time, those seeds grow into something meaningful. These little habits, practiced consistently, are the seeds that shape the landscape of our lives. They don't necessarily offer immediate rewards, but they compound over time, eventually creating a harvest of success, growth, and fulfillment. One of the most powerful things about small habits is that they are accessible to everyone. They don't require extraordinary skills or resources. They don't demand immediate results. Instead, they're based on the idea of consistency, discipline, and intention. When we choose to make small, positive changes every day, those changes accumulate and create profound shifts in our lives. It's easy to underestimate the power of these small actions because they don't always give us instant feedback. Unlike large, dramatic changes, habits take time to show their true value, but that's where their true strength lies. They're sustainable, and they build momentum in a way that big changes often cannot. When we start with small habits, we're able to work on them consistently, without the pressure of achieving perfection right away. Over time, as these habits begin to stick, we start to see the positive impact they have on our mental, physical well-being, whether it's waking up a little earlier each day to set the tone for the rest of our morning, or taking a few minutes to reflect on our progress. These small actions have the power to reset our mindset, refocus our efforts, and align us with our goals. They teach us discipline, patience, persistence, the qualities that are essential for long-term success. The beauty of small habits is that they allow us to be patient with ourselves. We don't have to wait for the perfect moment to change. Instead, we simply need to start where we are with what we have. Small habits are often more manageable than trying to make radical changes all at once. It's easy to become overwhelmed when we try to overhaul every aspect of our lives overnight. By focusing on one habit at a time and sticking with it, we break down the larger goal into manageable, bite-sized steps. This makes the process feel less daunting and more achievable. For example, if you want to get fit, Instead of committing to an hour-long workout every day, just 10 minutes of exercise. As your body gets accustomed to this, you can gradually increase the intensity and duration of your workouts. This approach is much more sustainable and likely to lead to long-term success. The power of small habits also lies in their ability to change the way we view ourselves. Every time we show up for a small habit, we reinforce our sense of self-discipline and our ability to follow through. This builds self-confidence. We begin to trust ourselves and our abilities. These habits don't just help us accomplish external goals, they also shape our internal narrative. Over time, the small victories we achieve with these habits help us develop a mindset of success and possibility. They remind us that we are capable of making changes. How big or small, perhaps most importantly, small habits give us a sense of control over our lives. In a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable, to shape our own future one small action at a time is incredibly empowering. Each habit, no matter how insignificant it might seem in the moment, contributes to a larger picture. When we look back at the collection of all the small things we've done over time, we realize just how much they have shaped our success. The impact of these habits isn't always obvious at first, but as they begin to build on one another, we see the cumulative effect. And it's this consistency, steady commitment to small habits that transforms our potential into so. Don't wait for the perfect time to make a change. Start with the small, manageable habits that align with the life you want to create. Commit to those habits day in and day out, knowing that each small action is building a better future for yourself. Success isn't an event, it's a process, and it starts with the small, seemingly insignificant habits that, over time, become the foundation of everything you achieve. Every small step counts, and each one brings you closer to the person you want to become. The journey to personal transformation doesn't require drastic measures or immediate results. In the small, consistent habits we implement daily, these seemingly minor actions have the potential to create lasting and profound changes in our lives. At first, it might seem like these habits don't carry much weight, but in the long run, their cumulative power is undeniable. By committing to small but meaningful changes each day, we slowly start to reshape our behaviors, mindset, and ultimately our outcomes. The key lies in consistency. Just like a plant that requires care and patience to grow, so does our personal development. A single seed doesn't yield an entire garden overnight, but over time, with the right nurturing, it flourishes into something greater than we could have imagined. Small habits are often easy to overlook, yet they hold incredible transformative potential. In a world that's constantly seeking immediate gratification, we may underestimate the power of these incremental changes. However, the beauty of small habits lies in their ability to subtly shift our lives over time without the pressure of drastic overnight change. Focusing on making monumental shifts all at once, the emphasis is on consistent, manageable actions. This approach is incredibly powerful because it's sustainable and doesn't require extraordinary effort or instant results. Implement small habits into our daily routines regardless of our circumstances or current challenges. They are accessible, practical, and most importantly, work when applied over time. Think about it, the simple act of dedicating a few minutes each day to personal reflection, reading, or planning can gradually make a significant difference in how we approach life. These habits may not seem life-changing in isolation, but when practiced daily, to create a profound shift, each habit reinforces the other, and together they create a holistic approach to self-improvement. For example, waking up a little earlier each morning gives you the opportunity to start your day with intention, setting a tone of purpose and clarity. Consistently reading for 20 minutes a day expands your knowledge and strengthens your mindset. Practicing gratitude daily shifts your perspective and helps you focus on what's going well in your life rather than what's missing. Additionally, small habits don't require perfection, they simply require action. The key isn't about doing everything perfectly every single day, but rather about showing up consistently, no matter how small the effort. This mindset allows for flexibility, making it easier to integrate these habits into our routines without feeling overwhelmed by the pressure to be flawless. The true magic of small habits lies in their compounding effect over time. At first, you may not see immediate changes, but when you look back after a few months or years at how far you've come, just as a single drop of water creates ripples across the surface. Small, consistent actions create ripples of change that spread throughout all areas of your life. These habits also cultivate resilience, teaching us to stick with things even when the rewards are not immediate. In a society that values instant results and quick fixes, we are often impatient for change. However, embracing small habits encourages us to be patient and trust the process. We begin to understand that real transformation takes time, and with persistence, eventually see the fruits of our labor. It's through this patience and perseverance that we develop the mental and emotional fortitude required for long-term success. Success doesn't happen overnight, and neither do the habits that lead to it. But when we embrace the journey of continuous growth, we start to see how far we've come and how much we're capable of achieving. Moreover, the beauty of small habits is that they are incredibly adaptable. We don't need to radically change our lives to start incorporating them. Instead, we can integrate them in a way that fits our existing routines, whether it's adding a 10-minute morning workout, taking time to journal before bed, or making a conscious effort to prioritize relationships. These habits can easily be woven into the fabric of our daily lives. This makes them sustainable in the long run, and the more we practice them, the more natural they become. It's this natural integration into our routines that makes small habits so effective. They don't require us to force a dramatic shift in behavior, but instead allow us to build on what we're already doing. Another important aspect of small habits is that they serve as a form of self-empowerment in a world where external circumstances can often feel beyond our control. These habits offer us a sense of autonomy and ownership. By choosing to incorporate positive habits into our day, we're taking charge of our own growth and development. This sense of control can be incredibly empowering, especially when faced with challenges or adversity. We realize that no matter what happens around us, we always have the ability to control our actions and the habits we cultivate. This realization is not only liberating, but also motivating. Reinforces the idea that we are in charge of our own. In conclusion, the power of small habits lies in their simplicity and consistency. These habits may seem insignificant on their own, but when practiced consistently, they lead to profound transformations. A sustainable way to improve our lives and cultivate the mindset, discipline, and resilience necessary for long-term success. By starting small and committing to daily actions, we begin to create lasting change that will shape our futures in ways we might not yet fully understand. The key is to trust the process, embrace the journey, and remember that small steps taken consistently, monumental progress in a world where the pursuit of success often leads us to focus on the larger, more visible achievements. It's easy to forget that true transformation lies in the habits we build each day. Small habits, while seemingly insignificant in isolation, accumulate over time to create profound shifts in our lives. When we talk about change in our lives, we're usually looking for something big, something that will set us apart. The reality is that the most powerful changes are built upon a foundation of consistent, everyday actions. It's the small choices made day in and day out transform our future. The problem is that people often overlook these small habits, assuming that only monumental actions lead to significant results. Yet, it's the cumulative effect of these habits, when practiced regularly, that shapes who we become. To truly understand the power of small habits, to recognize that these actions don't just impact our immediate outcomes, they impact our mindset, too. When we commit to making small, positive changes every day, to shift our thinking, each habit becomes a reminder of our ability to take control of our lives. As we build these habits, we reinforce a positive, growth-oriented mindset, which in turn encourages us to keep going. Whether it's waking up early each morning or taking a few minutes to reflect, these habits teach us to take charge of our day and our goals. These habits shape our behavior, helping us develop the discipline and resilience needed to tackle bigger challenges. What's more, as we make progress, no matter how small, we begin to believe in our own capacity for change and growth. Another key aspect of small habits is that they offer a sense of accomplishment without overwhelming us. Are deterred from pursuing long-term goals because they feel the process is too complex or overwhelming. Big goals can often feel out of reach, which leads to procrastination or feelings of inadequacy. Small habits, on the other hand, break down larger goals into manageable chunks. When you commit to a habit like reading for 20 minutes a day or exercising for just 10 minutes each morning, the sense of accomplishment comes quickly. You don't have to wait months or years to feel like you've made progress. Small, consistent actions lead to small, consistent wins. These wins, however small, as motivation to continue. When we achieve even the tiniest of goals, it reinforces the idea that progress is being made and that we are on the right path. This creates a cycle of momentum that makes it easier to keep going. Small habits teach us patience and the value of incremental growth. Often promotes the idea of rapid success, the quick fix or the shortcut that will lead us to our desired outcome in the shortest time possible. However, true success doesn't happen overnight. It requires time, effort, and persistence. Small habits teach us the importance of this process. Instead of focusing on immediate results, appreciate the gradual progression that comes with consistent action. We start to see that each small habit no matter how small it seems in the moment. Stepping stone on the path to something greater. It's through this patience that we are able to build the foundation necessary for long-term success. Small habits are like the daily deposits into a bank account. Each action might seem small, but over time, into something of great value. Perhaps one of the most significant benefits of small habits is that they help us stay aligned with our values and goals. Filled with distractions and competing demands on our time and attention, it's easy to lose sight of what's truly important to us. Small habits practiced consistently as anchors, reminding us of our long-term vision. They keep us grounded and focused on the actions that move us closer to our goals. For instance, if health is one of your core values, committing to a daily exercise routine, even if it's just a short walk, helps reinforce that value. Don't just keep us on track, they also build a sense of self-respect. When we make the decision to show up for ourselves, even in small ways, we reinforce our own worth and our commitment to the life we want to create. Lastly, small habits foster a sense of self-efficacy. For ourselves, through these small actions, the more we start to believe in our own ability to succeed. Over time, these habits become second nature, and we realize that we are capable of making changes and improving ourselves. This sense of competence is empowering. It's easy to feel helpless when we focus solely on the larger goals we haven't yet achieved. Small habits give us the opportunity to prove to ourselves that we can make progress no matter how slow it seems. This belief in ourselves is often the most important factor in achieving our long-term goals. Ultimately, small habits are the foundation upon which all lasting change is built. They may seem insignificant in the moment, but over time they compound to create lasting transformation. When we adopt small habits, we aren't just changing our actions, we're changing the way we think, the way we feel, and ultimately the way we live. The key is consistency. We commit to these small actions, the more they become ingrained in our lives, shaping our future in ways that are sometimes difficult to see in the present, but undeniable when we look back over time. So, instead of waiting for a breakthrough moment, with the small habits that will take you where you want to go, trust the process, that each small step is leading you closer to the life you want to create. Small habits are often the most powerful tools for creating long-term success, yet they are frequently overlooked in favor of larger, more dramatic changes. The reality, however, is that lasting transformation is built upon a foundation of consistent, small actions. When we focus on making one small change at a time and commit to doing it every day, but surely begin to build a life that aligns with our deepest values and aspirations. The challenge is that the results of these small habits are not always immediately visible, and we live in a world that often prioritizes instant gratification. This is why so many people abandon small habits prematurely, thinking that the lack of visible results means they are not making progress. However, true success doesn't come from dramatic changes, but from the steady accumulation of small wins over time. Each habit, no matter how small, has the potential to transform our lives in ways we may not see right away. The beauty of small habits is that they can be tailored to fit any lifestyle, require significant amounts of time or energy to be effective. The key is to choose habits that are manageable and sustainable, even on the busiest of days. If your goal is to improve your physical health, you don't need to commit to hours at the gym. Instead, you could start with a short 10-minute workout every day, gradually building it into a longer routine as you get stronger and more comfortable. Similarly, if you want to improve your mental well-being, you don't need to dedicate an hour each day to meditation. A few minutes each morning or before bed can help you establish a more peaceful and grounded mindset. Is that small habits are accessible to everyone, no matter their current circumstances or available time, is to make them small enough that they fit seamlessly into your daily routine, creating momentum without overwhelming you. Over time, these small habits begin to compound, and their cumulative effects can lead to profound changes. When we commit to doing something every day, we don't just improve in one area of our lives, we begin to change our entire way of thinking, acting, and living. For instance, if you commit to reading for just 10 minutes a day, over the course of a year, you'll have read several books that could have a significant impact on your personal and professional development. Similarly, if you make it a habit to write down 3 things you're grateful for each day, over time, this practice will shift your perspective, helping you to focus on the positive aspects of your life rather than the negative. These small changes might not feel groundbreaking in the moment. They gradually add up to something much larger. They alter our mindset, build discipline, and increase our resilience. Ultimately helps us achieve more significant goals over time. One of the most powerful aspects of small habits is their ability to create a sense of momentum. When we make progress, even in small ways, it boosts our confidence and motivates us to continue moving forward. Momentum is crucial because it makes it easier to keep going, especially when things get tough. We all face challenges, and at times, it can feel as though we're not making any progress toward our goals. However, when we have small habits in place, even on days when we don't feel like making significant strides, take small steps forward. This momentum carries us through the hard days and gives us the energy to push through. It's like building a snowball. At first, it may seem insignificant, but as you keep adding to it, it grows larger and larger. Eventually, the momentum from these small actions propels us toward even bigger accomplishments. It also teaches us to embrace consistency over perfection. In a world that often values immediate results and fast success, it can be easy to get discouraged when we don't see instant change. However, small habits are built on the principle of consistency. They teach us that it's not about achieving perfection, but about showing up each day, no matter what. The key to success isn't being flawless, but being consistent in our efforts. Even if we don't complete a task perfectly or as quickly as we hoped, simply making the effort to keep going is what matters most. This mindset is vital because it takes the pressure off of us to be perfect and helps us focus on the long-term journey instead of the immediate outcome. By embracing consistency, more likely to maintain these habits over time and ultimately see greater success, we start to realize that it's the small, consistent actions performed regularly that yield the most meaningful results. Finally, small habits help us build self-discipline, which is one of the most essential traits for long-term success. Discipline is the ability to stay committed to our goals, even when we don't feel motivated or when the going gets tough. Small habits foster this discipline because they require us to show up for ourselves each day. At first, it may feel challenging to stick to these habits, but over time, they become ingrained in our routine. The more we practice self-discipline, the stronger it becomes, and the more we build our capacity to handle bigger challenges. What starts as a simple habit, like making the bed every morning or writing a to-do list, gradually strengthens our ability to follow through on larger tasks. Actions teach us to prioritize our goals and stay focused, even in the face of distractions or setbacks. Ultimately, it's this self-discipline that enables us to achieve our long-term objectives as we are able to remain committed to our vision. Because of the obstacles we may encounter along the way, in conclusion, small habits are the foundation for achieving lasting success. They might not offer instant rewards. Cumulative power is undeniable. Over time, these habits compound to create profound changes in our mindset, discipline, and overall approach to life. By focusing on small habits that align with our goals, we can create a life of purpose and progress. These habits don't require perfection. They simply require consistency. And it's through that consistency, day after day, that we build the momentum, discipline, and self-belief needed to reach our fullest potential. When we think about success, it's easy to imagine dramatic breakthroughs or major life events that change everything in an instant. However, the reality is that sustainable success is often the result of small actions taken consistently over time. The process of growth is rarely fast or explosive. It's a steady accumulation of small steps that build on each other. While not necessarily transformative on its own, plays an essential role in creating long-term change. The power of these small actions lies in their consistency. Time efforts that can be overwhelming or difficult to maintain. Small habits are easy to start and easier to stick with. They don't demand monumental efforts, which makes them more likely to be integrated into our daily routines and sustained over time. Small habits don't give us instant gratification or instant results. They build over time to create the foundation for success in every area of our lives. One of the most powerful things about small habits is that they don't require perfection. It's easy to think that in order to achieve something significant, we must be flawless or we must do everything exactly right. However, the key to lasting success lies not in perfection, but in persistence. Small habits allow us to show up each day, even when we don't feel like it, and even when we don't execute perfectly. This is where the real transformation happens, not in perfection. Act of continuing to show up for ourselves day after day. By committing to small actions, we learn to value progress over perfection. We start to understand that even small efforts, as long as they are consistent, are enough to create meaningful change. It's this process of continual improvement that ultimately leads to success. Another benefit of small habits is that they are more adaptable to our lives than large-scale changes. Big shifts, such as completely overhauling our lifestyle or setting enormous goals, we often set ourselves up for failure because we're trying to change too much too quickly. It's easy to become overwhelmed by the enormity of the task, leads to burnout or discouragement. Small habits, on the other hand, are much easier to integrate into our routines. They don't require a dramatic reordering of our lives, and they can be modified to fit our current circumstances. If something isn't working, we can adjust it. If life gets in the way, we can make a smaller change. The flexibility of small habits means they can evolve and adapt with us as we grow, making them more sustainable over the long term. It's this adaptability that makes small habits so effective. They allow us to keep moving forward, no matter what life throws our way. Small habits also teach us the value of patience. In a world that increasingly seeks instant gratification, we often expect quick results from our efforts. However, the reality is that true transformation takes time. Small habits are the perfect way to develop patience because they require us to trust the process. At first, we may not see any tangible results from our efforts, which can be discouraging. But over time, continue to show up and practice these habits, the impact becomes more apparent. The key is not to measure progress too quickly, but to trust that with time and consistency, the small actions we take each day will eventually lead to significant change. In this way, small habits foster a mindset of long-term thinking, which is essential for achieving sustained success. We start to understand that real progress is made through incremental steps, not overnight transformations. The impact of small habits extends beyond personal growth. They also shape our external world. These habits, when practiced consistently, our circumstances improve our relationships and help us achieve our broader goals. For example, small habits like reaching out to a friend or colleague every day can strengthen our relationships over time. Taking time each day to reflect or journal about our thoughts and goals can help us stay aligned with our values and priorities. By making these small changes, we shift our mindset and behaviors, which inevitably changes the way we interact with the world around us. Habits have the power to reshape our external environment by influencing how we show up in our relationships, our careers, and our personal lives. They become the building blocks of the life we create for ourselves, and when practiced consistently, they can lead to profound changes in all areas of our lives. Lastly, small habits help us cultivate a sense of self-efficacy and personal empowerment. Every time we commit to a small habit and follow through, build confidence in our ability to make positive changes. This sense of empowerment is crucial because it reinforces the idea that we have control over our lives and our outcomes. As we continue to show up for ourselves, even in small ways, we begin to trust ourselves more. We see the impact of our actions and realize that we are capable of achieving the things we set out to do. This self-efficacy is what ultimately fuels our motivation to keep going. When we believe in our ability to make progress, we're more likely to take on bigger challenges and push ourselves further. Small habits, by fostering this sense of self-belief, help us build the mental and emotional strength to tackle even the most daunting tasks. In summary, small habits may not appear to have an immediate impact, but over time, the potential to create profound change. They are accessible, adaptable, and sustainable, making them the perfect tool for long-term success. By focusing on consistency rather than perfection, small habits allow us to make steady progress without feeling overwhelmed. They teach us patience, build our sense of self-efficacy, shape our lives in ways we never thought possible. The power of small habits lies in their ability to compound over time, foundation for success that is built on consistent effort. So, instead of waiting for a breakthrough moment, today, with the small habits that will ultimately lead to the big changes you desire, trust in the process and know that each small step brings you closer to your goals. Small habits often have a profound impact on our lives, yet their power is frequently underestimated. While large changes or instant successes are often celebrated, the real key to sustainable growth and long-term achievement is the consistency of small actions performed regularly. Provide a steady and manageable way to create meaningful change in our lives without overwhelming us. These habits, though they may seem insignificant on their own, blocks that, when accumulated over time, lead to powerful transformations. The challenge is that we tend to focus on big goals or expect rapid results, forgetting that small habits are the true drivers of long-term success. When we focus on making small, positive changes each day, we build momentum that leads to personal growth, relationships, and greater overall. One of the most important benefits of small habits is that they make progress feel achievable, even when life gets busy or challenging. The biggest barrier to success for many people is the feeling that goals are too overwhelming or that they don't have enough time to dedicate to making big changes. Small habits break down these larger goals into manageable, bite-sized pieces. For example, if your goal is to get fit, committing to a 10-minute workout each day is far more manageable than trying to carve out an hour at the gym. This incremental approach makes progress feel less daunting and it removes the pressure of having to achieve everything all at once. When we focus on small steps, we eliminate the overwhelming nature of big goals and replace it with a sense of control and accomplishment. This sense of achievement, even in small doses, for maintaining motivation and staying on track, consistency is another key aspect of small habits. It's easy to feel disheartened when we don't see instant results from our efforts, which is often the case with large changes. Habits provide the framework for consistent progress. The more we commit to small actions day in and day out, the more they become ingrained in our routine. Over time, the effort required to maintain these habits diminishes and they become automatic. This consistency is the foundation of success because it allows us to make steady progress without needing to rely on bursts of motivation. Small habits don't require us to reinvent ourselves or take on massive, unsustainable challenges. They are simple, sustainable, and easy to incorporate into our daily lives. It makes them so powerful. This steady rhythm of daily actions, compounded over time, is what eventually leads to significant improvements in all areas of our lives. Small habits also have the unique ability to shift our mindset and perspective. They don't just change what we do, they change the way we think and feel about ourselves. To small, positive habits, we begin to build a sense of self-discipline and responsibility. For example, making a habit of reading for 10 minutes each morning doesn't just increase our knowledge, it reinforces the belief that we are capable of growth and self-improvement. These small actions help us internalize the idea that we can control our behaviors and outcomes, which is a powerful mindset shift. Over time, change in perspective influences every area of our lives. We begin to approach challenges with confidence and a sense of control, knowing that we have the ability to tackle them. Step at a time, this shift in mindset is often the most important and impactful aspect of small habits. It's not just the external changes that matter, transformation that takes place as we consistently show up for ourselves. Another key advantage of small habits is that they help us avoid burnout. Common pitfall when we attempt to make drastic changes. When we set ourselves up with big goals or try to adopt new behaviors all at once, end up exhausted or discouraged when we can't maintain the intensity. Small habits, on the other hand, are sustainable and can be practiced without overwhelming ourselves. They allow us to make progress without draining our energy or losing sight of our well-being. This sustainability is crucial because it ensures that we continue on the path of growth without risking burnout or giving up altogether. Beauty of small habits is that they are not only easier to maintain, but they also prevent us from falling into the trap of perfectionism. They allow us to make mistakes and adjust along the way without feeling like we've failed. This sense of balance is vital for creating a lifestyle that supports long-term growth. Small habits have a compounding effect. Consistently show up and take small actions every day. The results eventually build up and create momentum. It's the small actions repeated daily that compound over time, lasting and sometimes even surprising changes. For example, if we dedicate a few minutes each day to practicing a new skill or learning something new, add up to a significant improvement over time. The impact of these small actions may not be immediately noticeable, but when we look back after several months or years, just how far we've come, it's this compounding effect that makes small habits so powerful. They don't just produce incremental progress. Snowball effect, where each small action leads to exponential growth. Lastly, small habits help us cultivate greater resilience and adaptability. Life is full of uncertainties, challenges, and unexpected obstacles, but small habits give us the tools to remain steady in the face of adversity. When we've built a routine based on small, manageable habits, we become better equipped to navigate tough times. These habits create a sense of stability and structure in our lives, helping us maintain our focus and direction when things feel uncertain. For instance, the habit of practicing gratitude or taking a moment each day to reflect on our goals can provide a sense of calm and clarity during stressful times. Small habits are not just about personal development. They are about creating a foundation of resilience that helps us stay grounded and continue moving forward. No matter the circumstances, this adaptability is what enables us to stay the course even when the path ahead is unclear or difficult. In conclusion, small habits are the foundation for meaningful, long-term success. They provide a sustainable, manageable way to make progress toward our goals. Their power lies in their consistency and cumulative effect. By embracing small habits, we create a structure for growth that is both adaptable and resilient. These habits don't require perfection, but they do require commitment, and over time, they build the momentum needed to achieve lasting change. As we continue to show up for ourselves and practice these small actions each day, we begin to transform not only our external circumstances, but also our internal mindset. Small habits are the key to unlocking our potential and creating the life we desire. One step at a time, small habits have the remarkable ability to lead to profound transformations, often more so than large, sweeping changes. Many people focus on setting massive goals or making huge shifts in their lives, expecting these changes to bring about immediate results. The power of small habits lies in their consistency and sustainability. They may not deliver instant gratification, but over time, small actions build the foundation for long-lasting change. By focusing on small habits, we remove the overwhelming nature of big goals and give ourselves the freedom to progress at a manageable pace. Rather than trying to make radical changes all at once, focus on taking small steps each day. These habits become ingrained in our daily routines, and as they accumulate, the compound effect takes place, ultimately leading to significant growth and transformation. One of the reasons small habits are so effective is that they help us develop self-discipline over time. Discipline is often seen as a trait that requires significant willpower, but in reality, it's built through small, consistent actions. Commit to a small habit and follow through on it day after day. We reinforce our ability to make choices that align with our goals. This discipline doesn't come from trying to force ourselves into large, immediate changes, but rather from the act of showing up each day and honoring our commitment to ourselves. Time we complete a small action, we strengthen our ability to stay focused and continue moving forward, even when we face distractions or challenges. Over time, self-discipline allows us to tackle bigger tasks and make even greater strides toward our larger goals. The beauty of small habits is that they help us develop the muscle of discipline, gradually making it more sustainable and less overwhelming, in addition to fostering self-discipline. Small habits also play a crucial role in building momentum. Momentum is often the driving force behind progress, and small habits are the perfect way to create it. Small and commit to an action, no matter how seemingly insignificant, we begin to build a sense of achievement. This sense of progress fuels our motivation, making it easier to continue. As we build momentum, we become more invested in our progress and more confident in our ability to succeed. For example, to write for just 10 minutes a day, we start by focusing on those small increments of time. Over time, as we see the results of our efforts, we naturally find ourselves dedicating more time and energy to the activity. The key here is that we don't have to take giant leaps to make progress. Instead, actions taken consistently build the momentum needed to achieve bigger things. The more we commit to small habits, the more momentum we create, which propels us forward toward. Small habits also have the power to reshape our mindset and change the way we view progress. In a society that often values instant results, it can be difficult to appreciate the small, gradual changes that are necessary for long-term success. Many people become discouraged when they don't see immediate results. These teach us the importance of patience. They remind us that meaningful change is a slow, incremental process. By focusing on small actions, we learn to value consistency over quick fixes. This shift in mindset helps us stay committed to our goals, even when we don't see immediate rewards. The reality is that significant progress takes time, and small habits create a framework for that slow, steady growth. Rather than expecting everything to change overnight, we learn to embrace the process and trust that each small habit is contributing to our overall success in addition to fostering patience. Habits help us build a sense of accomplishment. When we take small actions each day, even if they don't feel particularly significant at the time, creating a string of successes that contribute to our overall well-being. These small wins add up, and over time, they create a sense of fulfillment and pride. Whether it's waking up early, taking a walk, or reading a few pages of a book, these small actions contribute to a larger sense of progress. The key is to recognize the importance of these small wins and celebrate them as we go. When we focus on the small victories, we build confidence in our ability to achieve more. In turn, small habits also provide the flexibility to adjust and adapt as our circumstances change. Life is unpredictable. Always anticipate the obstacles or challenges we may face. However, because small habits are manageable and sustainable, they can be modified to fit our current situation. If we find ourselves in a particularly busy period, we can adjust the size or scope of our habit without abandoning it altogether. If our regular workout routine becomes unmanageable due to a hectic schedule, we can scale it down and commit to just a few minutes of exercise each day. The flexibility of small habits allows us to keep moving forward even when life gets in the way. This adaptability is crucial because it helps us stay consistent and maintain progress even during difficult times. By focusing on small habits, we give ourselves the grace to adjust without feeling like we've failed or lost our momentum. Lastly, small habits help us prioritize our goals and create a sense of alignment in our lives. Often, we set big goals without taking the time to break them down into actionable steps. Habits force us to do just that. By focusing on one small habit at a time, we are able to align our daily actions with our long-term objectives. For instance, if one of our goals is to improve our career, we might commit to spending 10 minutes each day learning something new in our field. Habit aligns directly with our larger goal of professional development. As we practice this small habit consistently, it becomes part of our routine and helps us stay on track toward achieving that goal. Small habits help us avoid the distraction of short-term gratification, allowing us to prioritize actions that truly matter in the long run. Over time, this alignment leads to greater clarity and a stronger sense of purpose. Ultimately helps us stay focused on what's truly important. In conclusion, small habits are the secret to lasting, meaningful success. They may seem insignificant on their own, but their power lies in their consistency, sustainability, and ability to compound over time. By focusing on small actions that we can commit to every day, we develop self-discipline, build momentum, reshape our mindset, and create a sense of accomplishment. Habits provide the flexibility to adapt to changing circumstances and allow us to prioritize our long-term goals. With patience and persistence, these small habits lead to profound transformations and lasting success. By embracing the power of small habits, we give ourselves the opportunity to create a life of continuous growth, achievement, and fulfillment.